It was a normal visit. They were normal grandparents, but the crushing pressure of a twist ending was anything but normal. Now, a trio of paranormal investigators have to figure out what's wrong with Nana and Pop Pop.
Spoilers, it's werewolves. Yeah, definitely werewolves with this one. It's really not even a mystery, actually. My name is Jordan Krumbine, and while I'm a video editor by trade, there are a lot of other creative skill sets that augment or enhance my video edits. This is a short story I wrote for my website. It's inspired by M. Night's film, The Visit. Basically, in the movie, a couple of kids visit their grandparents, and the grandparents start acting all weird and crazy. Succumbing to the pressure of that aforementioned twist ending, the finale of the film left me underwhelmed. So I wanted to fix it, or at least make fun of it. As in, haha, we're all having fun together! Right? Anyhow, this video isn't about my career as an unpublished, unknown, underweared short story author. It's about the cover art for the story. And when I design art for one of my short stories, I like to also turn it into a small animation. Here's how I designed and animated the cover art for Explorers of the Unknown versus the Geriatric Werewolves. First, we need 3 applications. Wait, 4. Maybe 5? 2 pieces of hardware, a charged pencil, a handful of reference art, and a crap ton of patience. And maybe a donut. I'm more of a graphic designer first, illustrator second. That's why I use a werewolf reference to quickly model my 2-headed, 4-armed monster. I use a blue pencil to create line art sketches of everything, and the trees admittedly took a really long time. Yes, I could have easily pulled a stock vector, but this was actually a fun, relaxing process, and now I have an original piece of tree art that I can recycle later. Speaking of recycled art, this moon has appeared in a few different pieces. The original design of the plasma beam looks great in penciled form, but after it's inked, colored, and laid out with the rest of the piece, it just isn't quite working for me. Instead, I used Procreate's Liquify tool to manipulate a teardrop shape. I duplicate and adjust 3 layers, and now I have a much better blast of plasma. The only thing left over from the original design were these squiggly little white highlights. Alright, let's blow out these layers and put this art to work. When I'm working in Procreate, I put almost everything on separate layers to make it easy to export individual elements. First, I'll lay out the final art in Affinity Designer and create the titles. This obviously becomes the final still image. Second, I take the title layer along with all the other art layers and drop them into Final Cut Pro 10. Yes, everything I'm about to do can, and probably should, be done in Apple Motion. But I am a video editor first, and Final Cut is my tool of choice. In other words, if it works for you, work with whatever the hell you want to work with. Just make it work. Here's what the final nested timeline looks like, and we'll break it apart starting with the second shot first. Before I can animate anything, I have to reassemble all of the elements of the shot. When I was piecing everything together, I decided I wanted to use the shadow layer to animate a pulsing flash from the plasma beam. Starting with the hero character, I created the pulsing effect by alternating this layer. Using the timing of the hero shot, I laid out the flashing plasma shot. Instead of dealing with an extra shadow layer, because there was none, I just duplicated the original layer and blew out the white and mid-tone levels in the color board. This created the exact same flashing effect with one less asset, which is good because I forgot to export the shadow layer for the werewolf. Once the flashes are created and synced, I'm ready to animate the actual elements. Again, I use 2 different techniques. The hero and the werewolf's movements are keyframed, and then I adjust the timing of the keyframes to pace the shot. The plasma beam just had a wiggle widget dropped on it to automate the motion. This is actually a title package called Animation Toolkit, and you can buy it from lenofx.com. Once the shot is complete, I nest it into a single compound clip to finish editing. The next shot I built was the first shot. This title sequence is as simple as it looks. Background, moon, titles, and tree. Very simple keyframing of the tree to reveal the titles. Then the werewolf pops up. This one had the same wiggle widget on it, but I also keyframed the whip up. Nest all of that into a compound clip, and the video editor in me takes over. The opening shot has a speed ramp of almost 800% to accelerate the reveal of the title. Again, I'm doing all of this in Final Cut because I want to be able to easily play around with the timing of the shot. In other words, I'll err on the side of animating broadly so I can tighten things up later in the edit. When the werewolf pops up, I keyframe a blur into the background to pull focus onto the werewolf. Finally, editing the second shot, which was frankly way too long in the original animation, I cut out the middle section and nudge the shot around until I find the right timing to cut away from the first shot. And that's it. I'm designing an animation like this specifically for social media loopability, and the version you're watching in this video is actually a little bit longer, probably a bit more werewolfy-ish. I'm also working fast. I don't want to spend much more than a day or two working on the whole project. But again, that's about it. Be sure to check out Explorers of the Unknown vs. the Geriatric Werewolves on krumco.com, and if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it. Leave a comment if you have any questions about what you saw, and subscribe. If you really like this video and the stuff I do, feel free to toss a few dollars in the tip jar. All links are in the description. Until next time, stay safe and stay creative.